In 1938, Edgar Cayce made a highly precise prediction regarding a sunken structure in the Atlantic. Exactly 30 years later, the Bimini Road Atlantis mystery finally surfaced beneath the shallow Bahamian coastal waters. In September 1968, diver Manson Valentine and pilot Robert Brush located this massive underwater geological anomaly. Stretching nearly 800 meters long, the massive J-shaped formation lies nearly 6 meters below the surface. Massive individual limestone blocks weigh up to 10 tons, possessing an unusual uniform thickness rarely seen naturally. How exactly did this strange 1938 prediction of a sunken structure materialize exactly 30 years later? 12,000 years ago, the vast Bahama Plateau was entirely dry land, located 80 kilometers from Florida. This specific geological timeline perfectly matched ancient Atlantis myths, immediately capturing overwhelming global media and public attention. However, Charles Berlitz published his book in 1974, aggressively linking the road to the Bermuda Triangle. This sensational media circus systematically repelled serious academic researchers from conducting proper, comprehensive technological studies on site. Authorities quickly adopted a convenient official explanation, classifying the underwater structure simply as naturally fractured beach rock. Natural beach rock forms rapidly along tropical shorelines, frequently breaking apart into seemingly artificial, large rectangular blocks. However, typical natural beach rock found throughout this specific Bahamian region rarely exceeds 60 centimeters in thickness. The Bimini Road monoliths consistently measure between 60 and 90 centimeters thick, completely defying regional geological norms. The scientific community officially closed this underwater geological case. What happened next surprised even the scientists. Independent divers soon noticed small wedge-like prop rocks deliberately wedged perfectly beneath the massive limestone block corners. Natural geological formations simply do not dynamically elevate themselves using precisely placed supporting stones underneath heavy corners. This specific structural detail forcefully reignited the Bimini Road Atlantis mystery, drawing relentless independent investigators toward the Bahamas. These determined underwater explorers meticulously mapped multiple distinct formations, discovering at least 3 separate stone block clusters nearby. Strikingly, these additional massive geometric clusters remain practically unexplored by mainstream academic marine archaeologists even to this day. In 2006, researcher William Donato led a controversial expedition to probe beneath the surface layer. Donato dramatically claimed to have discovered an entire second tier of massive stones hidden beneath the primary road. The structured double layer of geometrically cut stones fundamentally contradicts all known natural beach rock formation mechanics. Despite these profound implications, mainstream marine archaeological institutions provided absolutely no academic confirmation of this secondary structure. High-profile geologist Robert Schoch personally visited Bimini, seeking to independently evaluate these increasingly contradictory physical underwater claims. Schoch concluded the structure was likely natural beach rock, yet remarkably, he did not definitively close the door. To this day, no comprehensive academic study utilizing modern multi-beam sonar has ever fully mapped this area. Instead, mainstream science relied entirely on one specific radiocarbon dating study conducted by the USGS in 1974. Geologist Eugene Shinn dated the stones between 2,000 and 3,500 years before present. This official timeline supposedly shattered the Atlantis hypothesis completely, but this is where the story stops making sense. Crucially, radiocarbon analysis strictly measures the exact geological age of the limestone material itself, not its placement. Dating an ancient stone building merely by testing the bedrock provides zero information about the actual builders. Therefore, Shinn's officially conclusive dating completely fails to prove when these 10-ton monoliths were actually arranged underwater. If an unknown prehistorical civilization quarried natural local beach rock, they could have easily constructed this harbor. The distinct J-shaped formation heavily suggests an intentionally engineered breakwater designed to protect an ancient coastal settlement. Lying just 6 meters underwater, the stones perfectly match global sea levels from 12,000 years ago. During that specific prehistoric epoch, this entire massive underwater plateau formed a single, highly habitable dry landmass. Furthermore, independent deep-sea sonars have recently detected several similar massive geometric anomalies submerged off the Cuban coast. Unfortunately, the highly sensationalized Atlantis label almost immediately destroys any chance of securing official academic excavation funding. Consequently, mainstream marine archaeologists almost completely avoid the Bimini site, desperately protecting their established professional academic reputations. Despite institutional silence, dedicated independent explorers utilized modern underwater photogrammetry, revealing shockingly precise and parallel architectural alignments. These advanced digital mapping techniques exposed massive rectangular blocks featuring impossibly sharp 90-degree angles stretching continuously underwater. Moving and precisely aligning thousands of massive 10-ton limestone megaliths would require immense prehistoric labor forces. Furthermore, detailed visual inspections clearly revealed a distinct central spine, suggesting parallel lanes within the main underwater structure. All physical evidence points toward deliberate ancient human engineering, but this obvious answer raised a much bigger question. Who could have possibly possessed such advanced engineering capabilities 12,000 years ago during the Ice Age? Mainstream history definitively claims that organized human civilization simply did not exist during this remote geological period. Acknowledging the underwater Bimini structure as artificially constructed completely destroys our current chronological understanding of human development. This perfectly explains why academic institutions passionately defend the deeply flawed 1974 radiocarbon limestone dating methodology. Because the fundamental reality remains, this radiocarbon dating process only measures raw material age, never construction dates. Returning finally to 1938, Edgar Cayce predicted precisely that evidence of Atlantis would eventually rise here. He specifically declared the discovery would happen in 1968 or 69, 30 years before the dive. This profoundly eerie coincidence fundamentally anchors the enduring mystery, continuously pulling researchers back toward the shallow Bahamian waters. Despite decades of fierce academic denial, the massive stones simply refuse to fade quietly back into natural history. So, the Bimini Road continues resting silently just off the Florida coast, patiently waiting for genuine, objective science. While geological science comfortably dates the raw natural material, the true architectural origin remains an entirely untouched mystery. While geological science comfortably dates the raw natural material, the true architectural origin remains an entirely untouched mystery. Until that definitive day arrives, the road silently leads nowhere, swallowed completely by the dark Atlantic depths. The relentless investigation into humanity's forgotten prehistorical past continues. Subscribe to uncover more unexplained historical anomalies with us. Examine the evidence yourself. Watch our next documentary to challenge the officially accepted narrative of human history.